before COVID-19, my schedule was just I did my schooling, and then after I did my schooling, I would go work on the farm, and that would range between maybe 2 hours a day to I don't know maybe 4 or 5. It depended on the day, weekdays, and I also worked Saturdays. And after COVID-19, I'm now working 12+ hour shifts Monday through Saturday. We have Sundays off. Our boss man is with that. Yeah, it feels like there's some pressure, especially because now that we're not getting imports from other countries, we're getting crops because China was a huge rice provider for our country, and now it's just us. Like they're still doing trade, but they're trying not to do it as much, and so it puts a larger demand on us. On one hand, there's a lot of pressure for us to perform well, have high yields, and really support the country. But on the other hand, whenever there's a higher demand or whenever there's a lower supply, higher demand, that means that we get paid more whenever for the prices go up that we sell at. So in a weird way, we're actually, although the prices are terrible, but in a weird way, we are getting a kind of, we're obviously negatively affected by this, but it's a real give and take type thing because the prices for all the stuff we have to buy, like our chemicals and all that's going up because there's a lower supply. We can't get as much. But our crop prices have also gone up. So it's a little strange, actually. It's weird times we're in. Right now, I personally have not noticed a shortage in supplies, but it does take longer to get those supplies because there's less people working. Trucking is like on a full-time thing. Some truckers have had to transition to doing groceries or doing different things. So it's kind of whenever they shifted the forefront of a lot of industries towards the COVID-19 pandemic, it kind of made it to where we get things slower. But I haven't had an issue where I'm like, oh, I can't work today because I don't have this and I have to wait because of the COVID-19. It does affect that a lot of our supplies come from chemical salesmen, and that means I have to interact with those people. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that we can do like we used to do, where I would just meet the salesman, sign paperwork in person. Right. It's a learning experience for everyone. And so it's a lot different to acquire those supplies and, talk to people and such as. Right. Kind of farm work that I'm doing right now, I'm actually in a tractor for most of the hours during the day, which is like a 4x4 glass box basically, and I'm the only one in it, so that means I'm pretty quarantined off from the world, just me and my little box. But I do have to interact with people. It's just part of the job, and whenever I do, we're all aware of what's going on. So they stay 6 feet back, I stay 6 feet back. If I have to go closer than that, or whenever I have to go into public to meet people at places where I get supplies, I wear my mask, I wear my gloves. I have a certain pair of gloves that I keep in a box, and I put them on when I go into public, and I take them off as soon as I get out, and germ mix up, hand sanitizer, wash my hands, wash the gloves at the end of the day. It's just what I've done to try and keep myself safe and keep the ones that I know safe that I see at home. Right. Seeping into the United States, Mardi Gras happened. More than 1 million people from all over the country were crowding the streets, having a party and, having a good time. And I personally have never participated in that or done it, especially whenever I heard about the virus coming. I was trying to already start taking precautions. People came to Mardi Gras and they all partied, they all had a good time. And then 2 weeks later, some guy in Maryland, he went home, he got his whole family sick because he went to Mardi Gras. It's all partying, it's all close quarters. And that's why Louisiana is the way it is. Mardi Gras was like a breeding ground for it. I live away from New Orleans. Thankfully, I don't live close to the southern Louisiana area where it's a really, really big problem. But it's getting up to me, and I know people who went to Mardi Gras, so it's kind of affected me in that way. Mardi Gras in New Orleans, the big party that spread it is was definitely a problem. The weird thing is that one of the things along with Mardi Gras that has made it a problem for spraying in Louisiana is that a lot of the people here either don't care or don't believe it or don't buy into it. They just don't care as much as they should about how big of an issue this is, which means whenever I go to the grocery store and I have to go to a little Dollar General store, that's where everybody in the community goes to. And the cashier doesn't wear masks. The cashier doesn't wear gloves. Most of the people in there don't wear masks or gloves. They just go in, they act like business is normal, and nothing has changed. The same thing for the one gas station that my town has. They don't wear masks. They don't wear gloves. They haven't changed anything. Now, there are other convenience stores in the area that have, made it to where it's like window-only service. There's also the main places are the biggest problem where they haven't taken any precautions. So one problem with where I live is that it's not enforced. That kind of procedure is recommended, but they haven't enforced it, and so people don't follow it. Yeah, it's definitely hard work to say the least. I mean, farming is something that I kind of grew up doing. I was around it in the family, and then I've done it as I've gotten older, and because it's a skill that I acquired whenever I was young. It's kind of one of the family farm attributes that a lot of people have around here. It's what I was raised doing, so it's kind of been my bread and butter for years. And as far as the other errands go, you can't farm whenever it rains so much that you're going to destroy your crop, because if you go out there and just slosh it all up and mess it up. So the days it rains are off days completely, no work that day. So if it rains one day and it hasn't dried up for 3 days, then I have 3 days off. So it is 12 hours a day shifts, and it will be like that in the summer whenever it stops raining nearly as much as it is right now. Like this week, for example, I had last Saturday off because it rained. So, but that's the time that I take to do my errands, like get grocery shop and stuff, and always grocery shop for a full week in case I can't get back till Sunday. There's no toilet paper. Hand sanitizer is also gone, and hand soap for the most part. All that's gone, and for whatever reason, the dessert foods, they're gone. The chocolates, the most of that stuff's gone, and some of the more perishable stuff like bread and milk, having a harder time getting that kind of stuff. There's an abundance of dog food and car fresheners. That's about it. I kind of miss going to school. I mean, it's just not the same. To me, I kind of just try and treat it as an early start to summer, like school just let out for the summer, like spring break, but it's a long time. I don't mean spring break like party time on the beaches. I mean, my spring breaks that I've always had, which is you work for the week, then you go back to school. I miss doing that, and also I've been a competitive track athlete my whole life, runner. 5Ks. I did the events in high school, that kind of thing. I miss doing running competitions. So I miss doing that. Definitely a big sports country, but I'm really not the right person to talk to about it. I was always just a track and cross country type guy. Now I know a lot of people that are my close friends and colleagues that have been devastated by the no sports things. Like a lot of people are really invested in the in NBA, the basketball community here. Football was not ongoing right now, so it's mainly just basketball because it was really the only thing that they were like dead in the middle of. I know a lot of people have been just trying to watch replays just to keep themselves sane, like or play the video game version even because they were so invested in that, and now they don't have it. Even though farming is put on that list of essential job workers, and it is very essential, and I believe it's very important to the country, the doctors and the nurses are definitely at the forefront of the fight, and they deserve all the respect and gratitude that we're giving them. I mean, they're going in there, they're risking their life directly every day, and I have family members that are doctors and nurses, and I'm so thankful for them, and I hope they come home safely every day. Or I hate to speak for all farmers. I don't think we need as much recognition as the doctors and the nurses. We are essential, and it's very necessary that we do what we need to do. Just some recognition, like for just people to realize, like, hey, we're kind of been reduced to like the bare foundations of society. The farmers, where you get your food in the grocery store, you can't have it supplied with food, even if it only comes in, even if you only get a shipment of food every week to your grocery store, and you can't have that without farmers. And if we were to take an off year, then next year would be devastating. So just recognition that we need to do what we need to do